Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Concho Sports Insider. I'm host Zach Carlock alongside Arlen Ponder. Arlen, how you doing today?
I'm good. It's spring break.
It's spring break. How are you enjoying your spring break?
You know what? Ask me next week.
Well, I hope you're getting a lot of rest. I, as you can see, am ready for March Madness. I'm pulling for my Red Raiders. I can't remember if they play today or tomorrow, but I'll find out when I get home. I know they didn't play earlier today.
They did, yeah. You know what? And we were talking off air about filling out our brackets. I didn't even fill out my bracket yet.
I filled 3 of them, and 2 of them got busted early.
Yep.
The last one lasted until Game 8 before it got busted because Georgia didn't win. But I picked McNeese.
You picked McNeese, and McNeese won. So.
Took out Clemson 69-67 earlier today. What a game that was. But I'm from that area. I'm from Lake Charles. That's where I was born and raised. So, you know, I got to follow McNeese.
Heck yeah.
And they're doing great things out there. Hey, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff on the show today, Arlen. We're going to talk about some soccer playoffs going on. We've got 2 results in. 2 results or 2 games are going to be played. Actually, one going on now, one about to start soon. We're going to talk a lot of softball and even more baseball. Baseball starting to heat up. We got some powerlifting results. We have got a ton of things going on in the Concho Valley.
We do.
We got some shout-outs. Some
shout-outs.
Kids doing some great things around this area. And a West Texas thing. Not Concho Valley, but West Texas. We got some history made out in West Texas.
Amazing history, and what a outstanding, you know, just a kudo.
It's an amazing
somebody
thing.
That's in our area.
Yeah, and it's not like anyone didn't see it coming. I think a lot of people saw it coming. However, still amazing.
Yeah, still amazing.
And we'll talk about that later in the show. With all that being said, folks, we're going to get started here in a little bit. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have a little bit of soccer results and start talking a little softball.
Yep.
Sounds good to you?
Sounds good.
Hey, sounds good. We'll be right back. This is Concho Sports Insider on Concho Sports Network. 1 minute. Should I just walk over and slide?
And low prices for Gap, extended warranty, and credit life insurance.
Wait until we're off air.
So we can make your payment fit your budget.
Oh, yeah.
So be smart, bank smart, and contact First Community for your auto financing needs.
Pain is never planned, and recovery time is never convenient. But the last thing you want to do is wait for answers. At Angelo MRI, you are more than a number. We can get you results within 24 hours at a price you can afford. So when you need to get back into the game fast, tell your doctor you want to go to Angelo MRI. We hope you don't need us this season. But in case you do, remember, it's your health, your choice, your MRI.
Damon Bell Photography and Drone Services for all your photo and video needs. Call 325-245-9663. Oh, and we also do sports. Call today.
Check out why First Community Federal Credit Union is the #1 local auto lender in
Back.
Surprise!
So we promised some soccer results. We did get some of those in.
I just got one.
Well, I
Go
did
ahead.
too. First of all, let's talk about the historic season. Maybe I shouldn't say historic, but the great season that the Lakeview boys had. Unfortunately, they go down to Isleta 3-2 today on penalty kicks, from what I understand.
Yeah, on penalty. It was Brandon did the show, and he said that it was incredible, but it was sad to watch because it came down to penalty kicks.
Yeah, and those are tough
to.
games. I mean, you get your 5 best, and one person makes it, one doesn't, and that's it. You know. That's a tough way to go down, but a great season nonetheless for the Chiefs.
And you got to think that was Isleta coming out of the 4 spot in District 1.
Yeah.
So,
but you know that district's going to be tough coming out of El Paso.
Incredibly.
They always are.
Yeah, coming out of El Paso, you can bet that soccer, football is a big sport to them.
Yeah. But it's not all bad news for Lakeview.
No, it's not.
The Maidens took a win 0-0 in their own penalty kick shoot-off.
And ended up winning 3-2 penalties.
Kicks.
At least that's the information we got.
That's what we've gotten so far
from the folks there. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, hey, congratulations to the Maidens. Hopefully we'll be able to cover their second round game next week. Congratulations on a great season to the Chiefs. I mean, going undefeated in that district, 16-0, that is a huge deal.
Incredible deal. And they won 18 of his last 19 games.
Yeah.
So that was incredible. And one thing that Brandon pointed out, he was at the house before he left. There's a kid on the Chiefs team, and I forget his name. I wished he was here. Little Pele was here to tell us. But he's nationally ranked.
Wow.
He was
impressive.
like 8th in the state in goals and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I remember that.
And so the winner is either going to face Decatur or West Plains.
Yeah, which are tough teams.
Both of them tough teams. West Plains, new school that's coming. And I remember when I think Sammy Burnett and I were talking, Brownwood had to go face them, and he said that's a brand new school that's probably going to jump to 5A next year.
Yep.
Or next cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, and they came out and have made waves in like basketball and football and volleyball. They've made waves in every sport out there at West Plains.
They've been good.
Another one that's made waves in new school is at Lubbock Cooper Liberty School.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about them here in a minute too. They're in that Lakeview district for sports as well. And we did get word recently, we haven't gotten a final yet, but the Central girls against Eastwood went into overtime 3-3.
Yeah, it's still 3-3 in the second overtime is what I just got.
And after the second overtime, they'll go to penalty kicks.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of this broadcast, we will have that final score. The boys will play at 7:30, so we won't have anything on them yet. But even to take to double overtime for this Central girls team, what a massive victory for that team.
Well, and they were playing Eastwood. Eastwood 16-2. The girls were 6-10 and I think 3.
Right. They were the 4 seed.
Right. They were the 4 seed coming out of the Little Southwest Conference District, if that's what you want to call it.
Yep.
And the winner of that one will play either Weatherford or Keller Central.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about both those schools, but both of them are good football programs.
Right. And usually pretty good soccer from what I understand. Now, that being said, that's everything we have on soccer. Central Bobcats will play later tonight, and we're not. I don't plan on being on the air that long.
No, they start at 7:30. I intend to be headed out the door at about 7:35.
I'm okay with that. So let's move on from soccer. If we get that other score, if we ever get that Central update for the Lady Bobcats, we'll update you as soon as we get that. But let's look at softball in the area. A lot of softball going on.
A lot of softball seasons districts just starting.
For a couple districts.
Yeah, for a couple of districts. Some of them are already solid and into ones. I know that the TLCA Lady Eagles played, I think, today or they play tomorrow. I forget.
Yeah, that 6-3A district is getting into the thick of it.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Looking at the 6A district, the Bobcats, or the Lady Bobcats, sorry, nothing happening yet. Overall record, Central sits in about 5th place, 9-10, behind Midland Friendship Permian and Midland Legacy. Odessa pulling up the rear there, 7-13. You get a feeling that maybe Midland has a pretty good softball team at a 19-2 record. Friendship's always going to be in the thick of things. Permian
12-6-2 supposedly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
One thing that's cool to think about is we will be doing the Central softball versus Odessa game.
Okay.
On the 28th. So not sure who's calling the game and how it's going to be set up, but I know that that's in the plan to do it. And then there's some others. There's a whole list of them, and we'll have those coming up.
Yeah, we'll be covering, about 10 baseball, softball between Central and Lakeview games and district play.
And I think we're going to try to maybe throw some others in there, some other teams, maybe do some wall if we can. And, it's just like we talked about last week. It's a busy time of the year. You got track going on. You got and I've got some track results here coming up. And track, softball, baseball, and finishing up soccer playoffs. It's a lot going on. And if you like sports, this is the place. This is the place. Yep.
Looking at the Sorry, looking at District 5 4A, the Lakeview District, again, you got the top two teams that are always going to be up there that play really good, and both of them are playing really well right now, Levelland and Snyder. I know Snyder's playing well. I know the coaches up there. They're just always going to have a good team. And I'm going to tell you what, Snyder has two pitchers, their sisters, that are phenomenal.
Really?
Yes, and they're a sophomore and freshman.
Wow.
They are phenomenal.
Now, you say that they're 3-10 overall.
No.
Right?
Snyder's 8-3.
Oh, Snyder. I'm sorry, Big Spring. You said Big Spring, right?
Sorry, no, Snyder.
Snyder. Okay.
And now Levelland 20-2. Levelland's playing out of their mind.
Yeah, Levelland's
but
incredible.
Levelland's always good.
Yeah,
I went and called a game, Levelland and Snyder, one time. The game ended up being 21-20 in the wind with the wind blowing in.
Jeez.
Both teams, and we were happy Snyder won that game.
Right.
In Levelland, wind blowing it because up there,
well,
Lubbock area, wind's just blowing.
I think I saw that they had 82-mile-an-hour winds.
Crazy. We played in a dust storm. It was nuts, and 21-20 was the final score.
Oh, you played in yesterday in West Texas, right?
Yeah. But looking at Lakeview, Lakeview overall record sitting right there in third, 8-7, not doing terrible. Big Spring sitting at 6-7, Lubbock Estacado 4-9, and Lubbock Cooper Liberty 5-14. Probably the worst I've seen a record for a Lubbock Cooper Liberty team in any sport.
And is that the new? What is that school?
That's the new Lubbock Cooper
That's the
school.
new Cooper
it's the new
school.
Cooper District school.
Gotcha.
So they'll start. I believe they start district play tomorrow. I think if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
So we'll start seeing some scores roll in next week for those teams. Moving over to 6-2A, the Christoval district, and you got a 5-team district there, so only one person gets left out of the playoffs. And Christoval, again, season is very young with this district, but it has started. Christoval sitting at 2-0, followed by Sonora at 1-0 in district play. Colorado City 1-0, and El Dorado and Miles both pulling up the rear at 0-2 in district play. So a little bit of things going on there in that world. Christoval right now leading the district, but you can't sleep on Sonora and Colorado City. They're both 11-5 overall. Pretty good teams.
And I was looking, that whole district could be solid. Look, 9-3, 11-5, 11-5. 10-1 and 5-9.
Yeah.
That's incredible records for that little bitty district and little 2A district.
Yeah.
Now, going back to softball, Lakeview, I just looked on the 8th of April, we will do Lakeview baseball and we will do Lakeview softball.
That'll be a lot of fun.
That's
going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and if you've never been to the Lakeview complex, they're side by side.
Yeah, they're side by side next to each other.
So it's going to be.
I did radio up there at Snyder, and we'd come down here and we'd go to the softball game, finish that, and then have to gather all our equipment. We wouldn't even take it apart. We'd just gather it and run over to the baseball complex to
crawl up the
booth.
stairs.
Yes. Yeah. It was fun. So, and the Snyder complex is the same way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because we'd go do the softball and we'd have to run over to the baseball, and
then
a little bit longer run though.
Hey, but it's worth every bit of it to be able to do. The multiple games and to showcase our kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Now, let's look at the district that's really getting into the heart of district play right now, and that's that 7-team 6-3A district where currently at this moment, the last records we have, Clyde leading 4-0 in district play at 13-3 overall. Wall right behind them, 3-0. Probably a game missing in there with the Wall team sitting at 14-5. That could easily be tied right now. Merkel sitting at 2-2 in third place, Sweetwater 2-3, and then with no wins, you got Jim Net 0-1, Grape Creek 0-2, and TLCA at 0-4. Grape Creek hasn't won a game all year. Jim Net 7-7, and TLCA 3-11.
Yeah.
So that district could get pretty heated pretty quick.
Well, and it's what you're looking at is who's coming in with the 3 and the 4 seed.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to be looking at.
Sweetwater new into this district, too, dropping from 4A down to 3A this year.
That was a shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that district, I think Clyde, looking at everything, looking at records and everything going on, Clyde and Wall are going to be the top two teams.
Yeah, they're going to be the top two teams, and they're going to come, they're pretty loaded. It's whenever you look at talent-wise.
Yeah.
They're
especially that Wall team.
and they're very similar.
Yeah.
From what I understand, they're very similar. Like to not just long ball it, but small ball it too.
Absolutely. So a lot of great things going out there. That's softball. That's everything going on in softball. Hopefully next week we're going to have a little bit more going on. I think your 6A teams start to play. Your 4A start playing. And we'll start getting some results there for that. Do we have a result?
We have an update after 2 overtimes tied. So they'll go to penalty kicks.
So they'll be going to penalty kicks soon. Hopefully we'll have something there. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have an entire segment for my favorite sport. It's time to talk. It's baseball season.
Baseball been very, very good.
Baseball season. It is.
Yeah.
Hey, the Cubs and Dodgers are out there in Tokyo playing the Tokyo series, and opening day has – I think that should be a national holiday, personally. I'm a firm believer.
Right.
I mean, we get Sunday off for the starting of football.
Heck yeah. So we should get it off for
We
baseball.
should get it off for baseball. I agree.
I'll support
Oh, wait,
that.
I was off this year.
Oh, yeah.
I was on spring break. I didn't
we
mind.
were on spring break. We'll take
I didn't
it.
mind. So, folks, stay with us right here on Concho Sports Insider on Concho Sports Network, powered by Pixelcast Media. We'll be right back.
Check out why First Community Federal Credit Union is the #1 local auto lender in the Concho Valley.
With great low rates on new, used, and refinance autos, we can save you money. First Community has great payment options and low prices for GAP, extended warranty, and credit life insurance, so we can make your payment fit your budget. So be smart, bank smart, and contact First Community for your auto financing needs.
Pain is never planned, and recovery time is never convenient. But the last thing you want to do is wait for answers. At Angelo MRI, you are more than a number. We can get you results within 24 hours at a price you can afford. So when you need to get back into the game fast, tell your doctor you want to go to Angelo MRI. We hope you don't need us this season. But in case you do, remember, it's your health, your choice, your MRI.
All right, folks, welcome back here to Concho Sports Insider. Arlen, baseball is back.
The boys of summer?
The boys of summer, the Sultans of SWAT. Oh, wait, that's just Babe Ruth. Baseball is back. Swinging Joe DiMaggio, the Sultan of SWAT, you name it. I'm excited.
Ohtani.
Oh man, that
Did you see the stat? He and Babe have the almost identical stats.
Yep.
I saw that the other day in his first 466 games
and he
or
went out in
something
the
like
first
that.
game
Yeah.
and jacked one. Like his second at bat or something like that.
Yeah.
He's already got one. The dude is phenomenal. And the fact that he can pitch and still throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball just blows my mind.
That's crazy.
That man is a different breed all his own.
Well, you know, we always laugh about the football gods. The baseball gods just reach down and go, bloop, you're talented.
Everyone. Well, you know, okay, so here's what got me about football before we get into the districts here. When I'm watching the Cubs and the Dodgers play the Hanshin Tigers and lost both games, both of them lost 3-0 to the Hanshin Tigers.
Okay.
One of the interviews they interviewed the Dodgers manager. For the life of me, his name.
It's not Davey Lopes.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was talking about the pitcher that pitched for Hanshin that started, and he's like, that dude has major league talent. He was mowing down major league players.
So he'll be a Yankee next year is what you're saying.
Or Red Sox.
or a Dodger.
Or Dodger.
You know?
But it amazes me. What I love about that is, and I find this just utterly amazing, baseball has grown so international that the defending world champions of Major League Baseball get shut out 3-0.
Yeah. By a Japanese team. You know, do you remember the Tom Selleck movie?
Which one?
I think it was Mr. Baseball years ago.
Yeah.
And everybody made fun of Japanese baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, it can't be. It's a step down, blah, blah, blah.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. You know, another one that plays really well is South Korea. Has some good teams. Your Puerto Rican teams are pretty good.
Yeah, Puerto Rican.
You have teams worldwide. Australia.
Well, and Cuba there for a long time. So you've got dominant around the world.
It's such an international game. I love it, and it just. I mean, it's not like you're doing that with football.
No,
we're not bringing players in from Japan and South Korea to play football. Well,
no.
maybe a kicker.
Maybe a kicker.
But it's such a sport that everyone can play and enjoy, I love it. It's my favorite sport of
And I love doing it for, here again, and you will hear me say this all the time, for the kids.
Yeah.
It was great last year. Danica was a manager for baseball last year for Central. At the very end of the season, she got called out. You know, we had to go out with her for all the seniors. And to see those kids and to see them, Luke's Cage, his son was out there. Brian's son is out there. And you're like, what? Yep. This is incredible that you played football. Now you've turned around and played baseball. That's something you don't see all the time.
Right. No, you're right.
But you do see it in places like the little schools, like Christoval, Miles, Wall.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, let's talk about the kids for a second. Looking at 6A, looking at the local 6A district, again, much like softball, they have not yet gotten started in their season. But again, just like on the softball side, Midland right there at the top of that district in the overall record, 14-2. Midland Legacy coming in 12-9. Friendship 9-6. Central 8-5. Odessa 8-8. And Permian pulling up the rear 7-11. Those are overall records. Everybody's 0-0 in district. I believe they get started next week or maybe they might get started tomorrow with their district play. So with that, we're going to move on down because there's really nothing to report in 6A.
Well, hold on. So for 6A, on the 3rd of April, we will be doing the Midland game.
Oh, yes.
On the 4th of April, we will be doing the Legacy game.
That'll be fun.
Here again, stay tuned. We will have everything that you need to know.
Yep.
Probably next week to have who's going and who's you're going to have to listen to and who's you're not going to have to listen to.
So moving down to 4A, they are getting started in district play. You got at 2-0 Lubbock Estacado and Lubbock Cooper Liberty. At 1-1, Big Spring and Levelland. Lakeview at 0-1 and Snyder at 0-3 right now. And I'm going to tell you that Snyder record, they've been at the top of that district for a long time, for 4 or 5 years.
Did they just attrition out?
Pretty much. So coming from there, I know a lot of the players that they've signed several players over the last 3 or 4 to 5 years into college programs.
That's cool.
And Shane Stewart has done an amazing job as the head coach up there at Snyder, but he's lost a lot of talent, and it's sometimes it's hard to replace.
Well, and you have to think about West Texas. So you've got Snyder, Big Spring. Some of those schools, they're not like the Lubbock Estacado or the Lubbock Cooper Liberty, where those kids have that. You've got to go out and find those kids that are maybe walking the hallway, and you go, hey, can you throw a baseball? Come on, we want you to come throw a baseball for us.
Looking at Lakeview, 0-12 on the whole season, that's tough. And we're going to get the chance to see some Lakeview games this year.
On the 1st.
Okay.
Not an April Fool's joke, but on the 1st, we'll be doing Lakeview baseball versus Big Spring.
Now, we'll tell you what stands out to me is seeing Lubbock Estacado at the top, at second place, tied for first in this district with Lubbock. Now, seeing Lubbock Cooper Liberty, not a surprise.
Right.
They came out and crushed in volleyball, basketball, boys and girls. They played good football this year. Again, just a new school, probably going to move to 5A next cycle.
Probably.
But for a couple years, everybody in that district's kind of got to deal with them. When I look at this, taking out Lubbock Cooper Liberty, I'm used to seeing this flipped over.
Yeah.
In that district.
Snyder on top.
Yeah. I mean, I may see Levelland at first, Snyder on top. They may flip a little bit. Every once in a while, Big Spring will have a good year. They'll get in that top 3, maybe win it. Lakeview's always fighting for a 2 or 3 slot. This is a very weird look to see that, but it does happen. It just shows you teams can have bad years.
Teams are going to have bad years. And something that we talked about last week off air with Paul was possibly us going down and doing the realignment.
Yeah.
Whenever they do the realignment, have a shot and have one of our shows there in Austin.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
Where they're talking about the realignment, where we can actually talk to the coaches. Hey, how's this going to affect you? Things like that. Sounds like it'd be a world of fun for me. And I think that you'll still see that Estacada, Big Spring, Levelland, Lakeview, and Snyder. that district will probably stay
pretty intact. Yeah,
pretty
maybe
intact.
you bring in a Greenwood, maybe not.
Yeah, and you got a Greenwood and even
or a Pecos.
I even hear word that TLCA might slip up into 4A spot. So,
no offense, but that wouldn't be good for them.
No. And we've laughed about that, or laughed about it. We laughed about, oh, wow, that's going to hurt. And
it will.
But we've also talked about it gives us a completely different set of challenges.
It does. That's true. And the thing that it does for TLCA is and I joke about it, that won't be good for them, but that means you got more kids to pull from, so it may not be a bad thing.
Might not be a bad thing. I know that freshman class coming up for us, I think they said this year's was 132. I think next year's is 150 something.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be 4A soon.
So it won't be long. And I remember whenever I was on
you do
school
that for
board,
2 years, you're moving up.
we always looked at, okay, how many freshmen or how many seniors are going out? Oh, there's 30 seniors going out. How many kindergartners do we have? 65?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've grown.
Yeah.
So you always want to look at that those underclass, where are they going to rank?
Because even at 65, it goes down to 55 by the time they're seniors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't attrition that much. Yeah. Looking at over District 6 2A, they've only had one game played in district play. Cristoval beat Colorado City. So Cristoval sitting at the top of that with Colorado City at the bottom. And the other three, El Dorado, Sonora, and Miles, are just sitting there twiddling their thumbs waiting to play their first game.
But look at them. 1-4, 1-5, 1-8.
Yep. 4-7, 5-7. I mean, nobody has a winning record overall.
No, somebody's going to have a winning record by the time they're done.
They will.
At least in district.
But here's what I noticed. I went and looked at that district, and I don't have those stats up right now, but I know Cristoval for sure and Colorado City, they played some tough talent.
And you want to do that. It's like football. You want to play that so that whenever you get to, we always used to say we practice harder than we play.
Absolutely.
And you want to do that so that whenever you get into that district, it's skating.
Yeah.
You're knowing what's going on. And hang on, I just got an update.
Do we have an update before we get into District 6 3A? Let's see.
4-4 through the 5th round.
Wow. So they're going to penalty. They're going to sudden death penalty kicks.
Yep. They're hanging on. They're hanging on.
Lady Cats, regardless of what happens, I'm still pulling for you, but whatever happens, great job so far.
Excellent job.
So let's jump into 6-3A. Maybe we'll have an update before then. So 6-3A. Now this to me is the district to watch.
Before you start this,
go ahead.
Just know, everybody, he was giddy whenever he came in the door about talking about this 6-3A team.
This 6-3A district is phenomenal.
The
right
teams.
now.
So I'll let you go from there.
Okay. So let's look at this 6-3A district. Okay. You got three teams at the bottom: TLCA, Sweetwater, Grape Creek, respectively 0-2, 0-3, 0-3. 3-10 overall, 6-8, 2-6. Look, you call it like it is. They're not great teams.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They can be at that. Now I say that. Don't misunderstand me. Definitely got the potential to spoil someone's day.
Well, and did they do what we talked about? Did they play harder teams so that they could get in?
Sweetwater did.
I know that. I think TLCA played Central JV a couple of times.
Okay.
So some of those losses, you're playing.
You're playing. Yeah.
Playing big schools who have a bench where you go, you go in. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that they can't spoil someone's day, though, because they can.
Oh,
and here's the thing I learned about baseball. They play 162 games in the major leagues, and never in the history has anyone gone undefeated.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It doesn't happen.
No.
Okay? Because I don't care how good your team is. On your best day, you can get beat by someone's worst day.
Oh, absolutely.
You can.
Absolutely.
Okay? And that's baseball. And that's why I love the sport, because on any day, so my senior year in Louisiana, we won state.
Okay.
And our motto was whatever it takes. Okay. Looks like we got an update coming in.
5-4 Lady Cats win and penalty kill shootout.
Hey, Lady Cats, congratulations. You're going on to the second round, and I'm sure we'll try to cover that game
we
as well.
will probably cover that one.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And
I believe that's the first year for the coach.
Yep.
So kudos to you.
And he's building that program, a young team, and they got a gold ball.
Yeah.
Gold ball season.
They do.
By district champions there, as well as the maidens. Okay, now let's get into this district. Let's look at the top 4 teams, though. Wall, Clyde, Merkel, and Jim Ned. Now, here's what we know. Wall's under a second-year coach. Okay? And I got I pulled the stuff up here.
I'm
Okay.
I'm not lying, guys. He was giddy
Wall-
when he came in.
Wall, second-year head coach Jeremy Gordon out there doing a great job. He's got him at 5-0. Sorry,
5-0. We just
5-0.
updated the numbers.
Yep, 5-0. Six returning key restarters. Clyde, okay,
4-0.
at 4-0. 16 years with their head coach out there, as Colby Rowley's been out there. They're sitting at 4-0 and played some. I mean, they've played Lampasas, Sweetwater. Well, they played Sweetwater in that was their
Lampasas
district
4A.
game. Graham,
4A, I think.
yeah, and but a good 4A teams.
Yeah, good 4A teams with,
Okay.
with solid programs.
Yes, that's how they got ready. Jim Ned's out there, sixth-year head coach Mario Estrada. They're sitting at, what do we say they're at?
They're
2-0. Jim Ned and Merkel are at 2-0 in district right now. And Merkel out there with first-year head coach Taylor Snodgrass. I've mentioned Taylor before, a good friend of mine. Him and his wife are very good friends of mine. And but here's the thing. Merkel's got 6 returning starters, including the district newcomer of the year last year. Okay. Jim Ned, 8 returning starters. Huge. And Clyde, 8 returning starters. Okay. Including the other district newcomer of the year and the district MVP.
And so what you're saying is they're really good, and then next year they've got to reload, or
Could be.
or they've got a good pipeline going where they're going to bring up some folks.
So here's what I'm noticing, like with Merkel, 3 seniors, 3 juniors turning. So 4-4 for Jim Ned.
And Jim Ned's just going to reload.
4-4, 1 sophomore for Clyde, and Wall, 4 seniors, 2 juniors. So they're going to get some of this talent back next year. Okay. Here's the thing. These teams are about to get into the heart over the next 2 weeks, next 2 to 3 weeks, where these 4 teams are starting to play each other.
Yeah, those top 4.
Okay. And we're going to start seeing this district really play out, because what I'm looking at the scores here. Okay.
Yeah.
Wall in the last week, 10-0, 20-5 over Sweetwater, 16-4 over Grape Creek. These games are not close. TLCA 25-1 and 33-0. We talked about those games.
33-0.
I mean, Wall is hitting the ball well.
And that requires, and a lot of people that have never played baseball don't understand, that requires seeing the ball good.
Oh, my goodness, it does.
That
yeah.
requires contacting the bat to the ball.
Yeah.
That requires, and it requires placement. Whether you're placing a bunt, I saw one of the pictures that Paul took, and I believe it's Gordon squared around a bunt, and that's small ball.
It is. Well, and looking at Clyde, and Clyde shows me a little bit of small ball play as they beat Sweetwater 4-3 in their first district game, and then 13-3, and then they beat Grape Creek 16-0 and 26-1. Okay. A little bit of small ball there, probably some long ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe Grape Creek didn't have a great pitcher that second game. I don't know. Jim Ned 2-0. TLCA 23-2, 21-1. They can hit the ball.
I'm pretty sure on that game, one of those games. No, it was the 33-0 game where we talked about they had like 5 grand slams in one inning.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's awful hard to come back from that.
It is nearly impossible. Looking at Merkel, they opened their district season against Grape Creek 12-0, 11-0. Okay, they've got some shutdown pitching up there. Probably a little bit of small ball, maybe not a bunch of long ball, maybe a little bit of home run or 2. But that shows me a little bit of small ball, a little bit of long ball, good mix. Each of these 4 teams has their own strength. Okay, pretty good pitching it looks like. But here's the deal. We're about to see how good of the pitching is in this district.
Right.
This district's about to get hot.
And that's what's fun, because April is going to be
no
fun
doubt.
for these districts. I'm sorry. It's going to be fun for some of the teams. It's going to be brutal for some of the others.
It's going to be brutal for some other ones.
And it might just come down to a barn burner a couple of times.
And it might. No, you're absolutely right. So I'm looking here, and, Clyde's got Merkel. Clyde and Merkel are next. That's the next series. That'll be starting tomorrow.
And Clyde's at 10-4-2, and Merkel, I believe they're 9-2, 9-3, 9-3-1. Yeah. So
Jim Ned's got Sweetwater. I mean, starting tomorrow, you would expect that to be a walkover series, possibly.
You would think, but then,
but it may
like
not
we've
be.
always said, Sweetwater is a good
Sweetwater's good
team.
Here's the one that's not going to feel good for anybody. Wall's playing Grape Creek starting tomorrow. That could get ugly.
You just hope there's a little bit of mercy there. Yeah.
But that district to me is probably the prime baseball district in the region right now.
I think so.
Because those 4 teams are all playing really well. Wall has their teams coached up. Clyde's got their teams coached up. Seasoned coach, knows how to play in this district and doing really well. Merkel being introduced with a new coach up there with Taylor. He's doing a great job getting that team ready. And Jim Ned, again, a 6-year coach and learning and doing well, adjusting on the season. The thing that stands out to me more than anything, though, is this district's, those 4 teams, those are your 4 playoff teams out of this district.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any question.
I'm just going to go out there and say, don't count out Sweetwater. Don't count them out.
Sweetwater's that team that can be the spoiler.
That's
for
what I was going to say. They can be the spoiler.
TLCA and Grape Creek are not going to. They're
right.
I'm not.
They could be a spoiler.
They could be, but statistics say they won't.
Right.
Okay. Sweetwater, new into the district. They could be a spoiler right now. If I'm looking at it, I wouldn't put my money on them, but they could be.
Could be.
What I expect Sweetwater to happen with them is I don't expect them to make the playoffs. I don't expect them to even make a run to the playoffs. I expect them, for a team that's maybe sitting in that 2 seed, to take a late season loss and drop and flip down to the 3 seed, something like that.
Flip flop, yeah.
Yeah. So you got this team that's looking like, okay, we're going to go play so and so, start looking ahead, and then take a bad loss to Sweetwater and end up having to go somewhere else.
So, and then looking at it, they'll go play. So just looking way ahead, whoever this district will go play 7-4A. I'm sorry, 7-3A.
5.
7.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no. They'll go play
5. 5-3A.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm sorry.
5 and 6 will play each other.
5 and 6 will play. Yeah.
And so you're sitting there looking at, okay, that team's that 3 seed team is locked in, and we got them, we can beat them. And then you take that loss to somebody like Sweetwater, or even a TLC and Grape Creek. You take that bad loss at the end of the season, all of a sudden you're third
flip,
seed,
and that changes.
That second seed doesn't look so good to play.
No.
So
you know what? We need to take a break.
Yeah, we do.
So we can come back and talk about some extra things, some great things that we want to talk about, some shout-outs.
And a little bit of history.
And some history.
So, folks, stay with us right here on Concho Sports Insider on Concho Sports Network, powered by Pixelcast Media. We'll be right back.
Damon Bell Photography and Drone Services for all your photo and video needs. Call 325-245-9663. Oh, and we also do sports. Call today.
Check out why First Community Federal Credit Union is the #1 local auto lender in the Concho Valley.
With great low rates on new, used, and refinance autos, we can save you money. First Community has great payment options and low prices for GAP, extended warranty, and credit life insurance, so we can make your payment fit your budget. So be smart, bank smart, and contact First Community for your auto financing needs.
Pain is never planned, and recovery time is never convenient. But the last thing you want to do is wait for answers. At Angelo MRI, you are more than a number. We can get you results within 24 hours at a price you can afford. So when you need to get back into the game fast, tell your doctor you want to go to Angelo MRI. We hope you don't need us this season. But in case you do, remember, it's your health, your choice, your MRI.
Welcome back to the Concho Sports Insider Show, or are we just calling it the Insider? I don't think we figured this out.
We're still new to this.
This is our second one, so welcome back.
You know how new we are at this?
We're so new that we don't even know what we're doing whenever we walk in the door sometimes.
Well, that's true, too.
Yeah.
But this next segment is the first time we've done this truly done this next
Yes.
segment. This is a new segment for us.
New segment, and we're going to do it every week.
Yes.
And it's going to take you out there sending us information like parents did and coaches did. So I want to give some shout-outs, and I want to start out with Cristobal Cougars. Kaylee Pump, she began the season hitting a home run against El Dorado. That's a good way to start the season. That's a great way to start that season. Second up in softball, Aubrey Young. She went yard in the game against Miles to win the game. They ended up winning the game 5-4, and they opened district with a win over Colorado City, 13-3.
13-3.
So
Woo.
that was
beat the Wolves.
Beat the Wolves. Now, other thing, girls basketball. Got to give congrats to Haley Hughes, who was a TABC All-State team.
And I'm going to tell you, that is no small feat.
Nah, and the fact that and we saw them. Well, I don't know. Did you see them play?
I did not.
Okay, so it was Russ and I that saw them play. That team they were good. Those girls were good. Yeah. Going to go next. Let's go into TLCA. Let's go into some tennis. Last week they played. I think it was on the 13th. They played in a tournament. Riley Honey got third place.
Nice.
Jimmy, and I forget his last name. I just have first names here. Jimmy and Wesley Hale. And Wesley's does my weather for me.
He's one of your students, isn't
for
he?
my Eagle TV. Yeah, he does. And doubles, they were in the second in consolation.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so that was kudos to them. And talking to them, they haven't really had too many practices that have been because the teams, I said, is there a roster or anything? No, we don't have rosters yet because we're still so new.
Well, and tennis works so weird in high school because in the fall you have team tennis where everything you do is everybody plays one set, either doubles or mixed doubles or singles, and you get 1 point for singles, 2 points for doubles, and then you have the mixed doubles. And if there's a tie, usually the mixed doubles is the tiebreaker a lot of times. But then in the spring, everybody's individual or it's individual tennis,
right? And
so it's tournament style.
Some doubles, and
when I say individual, I just mean that it's
not
doubles
a team.
tournament,
right?
It's a mixed doubles tournament, singles tournament. It's all tournament style.
Yeah, it's all tournament
everywhere you go.
So with that, very best Falcons. First place in mixed doubles was Maddie Garcia and Tucker Martin.
There you go.
I didn't get when that tournament was. I want to say it was the 13th of March also. So kudos to them. Girls golf.
Hey, here we go.
Eden, the results from the Eden golf tournament for very best. Girls took first place as a team. Caden Broadway was first individual. Riley Buckner was second individual. And the boys were fourth as a team. So congratulations there.
I'm going to tell you, you take first and second in anything, you're probably going to do pretty well as a team.
One would think.
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Probably.
And then some track results here, also from very best. They went to the Kenneth Roscoe Relay, which was in Robert Lee.
Yep.
The varsity girls got 143.5 points.
I'm going to guess they probably won.
I'm going to think so too, but
That's
I didn't get that information. JV boys 92 points. They took second place, and varsity boys 179 points. Didn't see what they got.
I'm going to bet they won as well.
I'm
just a guess. I could be wrong.
Just guessing with those numbers. Also, congratulations to cheerleaders.
Oh,
and some
is
people
it that
go,
time of the year already?
Yeah, it already is. And people go, cheerleading, that's not a sport.
No, that is a sport.
I will tell you, that is a sport.
6 daughters. That's a sport, folks.
4 daughters, 3 of which were cheerleaders. Yep, that's a sport. Okay, junior high squad, congratulations. Sophie Garcia.
Garza.
Oh, Garza, sorry.
He can't read,
I can't
folks.
read.
It's
I'll let you do those. So
He's only a teacher.
Yeah. My bifocals aren't.
He doesn't
my
teach
arms
English
aren't long
though.
enough here.
He doesn't teach English.
No. Payson Model, Madison Pale. Okay. And Zoe Regalado. This is a junior high squad.
Okay.
The high school squad, Riley Garza, Brianna Gonzalez, Maggie Harris, Kayla Castor, Sydney Martin, Allison Model, Diana Ramirez. Was that Leslie? Liesel Selman, Talons. Don't know what Talons is.
I'm not sure what Talons is. That's interesting.
Maybe that's like another mascot. Cam Barber, and the mascot is Avery Boatwright. And then I'll let you jump in there and take some more of that.
So look at this. So this next piece just blows me away.
Incredible
feat here. The first part, we promised you a little history, and we got 2 pieces. So this first part right here out of Lakeview High School, powerlifting at the state meet. Janiah Jefferson sets a new state record in deadlift. I saw this lift. Did you see this lift?
I saw this lift.
Holy cow.
Now, she was one of my wife's students.
Okay.
So whenever I showed it to her, she was like, oh, my gosh, I knew she was going to be incredible.
Okay. Now, there's a little story behind this because what I had heard was before she had tried this weight before but never could get it off the ground.
Oh, really?
Like she had struggled to get it off the ground.
Wow.
At the state meet, she didn't just get it off the ground. She lifted it and set a new state meet record, 440-pound deadlift.
Wow. That's incredible. And go watch that video. Go to the Lakeview. I think they got it on the Lakeview
page. Yep.
Go watch it. It is incredible to watch this young lady work. You just see her work. Yeah.
You just see the strain, and you see, and when she's done and she sets it, you see the happiness and joy in her face.
Complete elation.
Yeah.
Elation, completely.
It was amazing. And so absolutely congratulations to Janiah on that. Little local history there. Little West Texas history. Now, we've talked about this a couple times.
Yeah, we have several.
But it is now official.
Yep.
Number 1 player in girls basketball. And I've followed Aaliyah for the last 4 years. Last 5 years. I followed her since she was in 8th grade.
In the nation.
Number 1 in the
nation.
Not
in the state.
For the last 5 years.
Yeah.
She had, when she made, so there was a video that went up, Jason Pearson Media out of Lubbock. He follows a lot of her stuff. He knows the family real well. And she works out at a place called The Lab that's run by her dad. And when she had her first game on the court for Monterey as a freshman, she already had 16 college offers.
Wow.
She hadn't even stepped on the court yet.
And I don't even think she's committed yet.
Well, I got a story on that.
Okay.
But she was awarded the Gatorade National Player of the Year. She's the first from Lubbock to ever receive that honor. She's been the number 1 in her class for 5 years. She was also named the Naismith Player of the Year and a McDonald's All-American. And for Texas, she's the 2-time Texas Player of the Year for Gatorade's Player of the Year.
That's incredible.
Now, she will be making her decision and her commitment on the 23rd, I believe.
So Monday.
Saturday. Sunday.
Is it?
Sunday or Monday. I thought they said the 23rd, which would be Sunday.
Okay, yeah, Sunday.
But the last I saw, I think it was reported the 23rd, she'll be making her decision. Wow. And from what I understand, I could be off, it's down to USC or USC.
Okay.
Which coast? Texas and Texas Tech.
Stay at home, go to school, play basketball.
But she's that type of player that, like, Texas Tech didn't have a great women's season this year.
Okay. But could improve with adding a player like that.
You add a player like her, and she completely changes your team.
Well, and now you get into the portal, like, we're watching the playoffs or the tournaments, and, Damon Bell, he played at, so-and-so JUCO, and then he went and played for USC for a year, and then he came to Alabama, and now he's playing at Tech.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see because right now, you got the ladies tournament starts up tomorrow or Saturday, I can't remember. But when she makes her commitment, let's just say, for example, she commits to Texas Tech. Do you see a player like the freshman at Southern California, Juju Schuster, who's an amazing, phenomenal player, all of a sudden into the portal to go play with Aaliyah?
Could be.
Do you see somebody make a move?
Yeah, and you see
someone
those
from
teams
LSU
being built now.
Yeah.
And
she's that type of player that she may pull a recruit. Now, of course, they can't talk about it. They can't even talk to him until after the tournament's over. But her commitment coming at the beginning of the tournament is going to make headlines, first of all.
Right.
Which team signs her.
Right.
Okay? And all of those teams that are in consideration are in the tournament, with the exception of Tech. Okay? And which one gets her, and does anyone, when they're put out of the tournament, go, I'm entering the portal? Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's certain players that if I see them enter the portal, I expect them to sign wherever Aaliyah goes.
True.
Because she's played against all these girls over the years.
Well, and that's
beating them.
And beating them. That's the thing also about, you talk about Texas being, being a football powerhouse. you look underneath the covers a little bit, and it's basketball and softball. It's everything here. It's not just football. So football's king, but
so congratulations to Aaliyah Chavez. A little bit of West Texas history being made there. Multiple associations Player of the Year, Texas Player of the Year for and a state champion. Yeah. She's been a champion at every level she's played. Now she's going to go try and get one. Could you imagine if she goes to Tech and they win a national title again for that with her?
That would be incredible.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
I was just looking. I got a call from your university.
I'm sorry. I mean, really?
Yeah, Grand Canyon. Yeah, come to school here. Yeah, okay.
Hey, that's okay. I did okay with them.
Well, hey, I'm schooled out, I think.
So I'll tell you a quick story before we get out of here. So I teach online, and I had a student that wrote me, and I was on Valentine's Day. I went and I was watching this game played. It was Grand Canyon playing, and they were in Outback. We were in Outback. They had them on the TV, and I was watching. I'm like, man, that name looks real familiar, this kid pitching. And I didn't think anything of it. And I get home, and I get logged in to do some work, and it was one of my students pitching.
Hey, that whatever
I was like,
works,
that's really
right?
cool.
That is cool. That is cool to be able to do that, and to know that they, they're he's
a good student. He's done well for himself, so
that's what I was going to say.
Cool.
Good student, good player.
Yep.
Yeah, good human being. Huh?
I love it. Hey, and that's why we're teaching.
That's it.
That's why we teach, because we like to see these things.
That's it.
Well, I don't know about you, Arlen, but I thought this was a pretty dang good show tonight.
You know what? I'm tired.
I'm tired too.
Spring break. I want to go back to school now.
I'd say that you're alone in that feeling right now.
Probably.
No, I'm ready to get back to school and see my students again and get the last part of this semester over. But before that happens, we've got some more sports to talk, but not tonight. So, did we get something come in?
So, it just said, congratulations for I'm guessing the Lady Cats. They said that was one of their worst games. He thinks that they've played.
And they won.
So, hey,
if it can only get better, then, hey, that's a good thing.
That's it. And you know what? You have those days where you have a terrible game and you still pull it out.
Yeah. Now, you're old enough. You may remember this. Do you ever remember the movie Gardens of Stone?
Yeah.
James Earl Jones, James Caan.
Yeah.
There's a line that comes from
about the Army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old guard.
The old guard. I couldn't remember.
The old guard that drops in Arlington Cemetery. There's a quote that James Earl Jones makes, and he says, "Some days you eat the bear, some days the bear eats you."
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, tonight they had a bad game, but they ate the bear.
They ate the bear.
That's it.
Yep.
So, folks, with that being said, I want to say thank you for watching. Have a great night. So, from all of us here at Concho Sports Insider, we appreciate you. And tune in next week, as we'll hopefully have some more results. And we will have more results.
And maybe have a guest.
Never
know.
Hey, all of our people are gone covering some soccer games or something.
I don't know, like there was something to do.
Going on. So, folks, we appreciate you tuning in. So, tune in next week, same time, same place. Right here on Concho Sports Network, powered by Pixelcast Media. Have a good night.